Welcome into episode 147 of About the Cards podcast live tonight on YouTube. As always, with me host Stefan Loeffler at Junk Wax Twins.
Oh, hi.
Ben Wilson at our trading cards, and I'm Tim Scheffler at Big Chef 79. We're a podcast by collectors for collectors, hoping to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
10 Central.
On YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Follow us on Follow us on Twitter at aboutthecards.com or about the cards. We're available as a podcast everywhere you can find one. Check out the website aboutthecards.wordpress.com. What is up, fellas?
Oh, hi.
You guys have a good week collecting?
I did. How was your week?
You know what? It was a very, very good week here at CBS Sports Cards on eBay. It was great. It's been a good week.
I got 5 things on my eBay watch list. I feel like I'm naked.
Wow.
Only 5? I can add some things for you.
No, it's like there's nothing other than a couple of opening day short prints that I'm looking for at the moment because nothing's really come out over the last couple of weeks. I mean, Tribute did, but that's an easy one to get in and get out.
I thought about a flip stock this week, and it wasn't, so that was fun.
Yeah. Gotta love sellers that don't know what they're listing.
Yeah, so I mean, I got my money back pretty quick, but he had 17. I should have my thing should have been to look at the rest of his listings because he had like 17 flip stocks listed. They're numbered out of 5. So yeah,
I had a PWE. I had bought it. I was on day 29 of it not showing up through eBay, and I was like, I finally opened up a case and just said, "Hey, man, it hasn't come. What do you want to do?" I still want the card, of course, and he immediately refunded my money. A couple hours later, I checked the mail, and there it is. So I reached back out to him and said, "Hey, it did show up, but it'd been a month.
Wow.
Obviously, this was there was no that tracking on those PWEs doesn't work anyway."
Right.
It gets it within a day, I think, because I always, whenever I see mine and it says delivered, it always comes the next day.
Right.
And so, I've shipped out hundreds of those, and the only time I've ever had an issue is it actually happened to be the local post office. This one guy was telling me, he's like, my post office is awful. And it was at his post office for like 3 weeks.
So there's Eric Bailey. I don't know exactly what his Twitter handle is, but he works for the post office. And he had said that they only get scanned at sorting facilities, not at the dispatch facilities. So your local post office, it's going to be at your hub. That's part of the reason, but I'd say 50% of the last 10 or 12 that I've had didn't have any tracking ever scanned.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of hit or miss. Who knows if that's going to be
I still appreciate it, though. I still appreciate that layer. It's just a little something better than a stamp,
It's not everybody has caught on yet, but I can't tell you. I mean, how many times were we bitching about $2 cards costing $6-7 after shipping? It just doesn't warrant a cheap pink hollow Donruss parallel at $7, where 13 card team set damn near should cost you $7, and might if you can catch them all on sport lots from the same guy. And a lot of these have been a lot cheaper recently, so not everybody's caught on, but the ones that have, it's definitely probably increased their sales exponentially. I imagine.
I can tell you, I'm starting to go back and some of my old listings change the shipping to with the tracking. It makes it a lot easier. It just gives somebody a peace of mind. And the only issue is if someone loads up a cart and that you have all those trackings and ends up being like $21. And your additional cards are cheaper, it can sometimes be more than, you'll lose $1 maybe on the shipping part and sending in a bubble mailer. But again, you sold a bunch of cards, so it kind of evens itself out a little bit. But they could work out that a little better. So,
if you're a seller, I mean, are you here to sell, whether you're online or on an actual e-commerce website like an eBay or a ComC Sport Lots, or if you're on social media, or you're at a show? Are you here to? If you're here to keep it, then just put up a sign that says, Tim Scheffler Museum,
Just look.
And then, do not touch the case. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when Ben Wilson comes by, cool. I'll know that it's the Tim Shepler Museum, not the Tim Shepler yard sale. And we're not saying don't sell at or around comps, but God, at least price this stuff and be willing to say, yeah, I'll eat a little bit of shipping because you're buying 12 cards that probably won't sell individually.
Move it.
In bulk
move on to the next thing. You're selling it for a reason. Move on to the next thing. Take what you can get and move on.
Delist it and keep the crap then.
Yeah.
So,
good stuff.
To that, I after years and years of shooting off trade packages with 50 of this card, 70 of that card, or going to the National and giving someone a couple hundred Alan Trammell Diamond Kings from '91. I finally got some in return. Long-time Twins minor leaguer. Actually, he was playing in 2019 in the indie leagues. I don't know if you can see that. But there's probably 50 cards there.
But
I think it's 40. I think it's 49. Joe Benson.
You gotta explain what your Steph. Not everybody watches live on YouTube Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific,
10 Central. There's probably, like I said, close to 50
Bowman Sterling autographs of Joe Benson from like 07 or 8, something like that.
07, good guess.
and the recycled top loaders are worth twice as much.
Yeah.
Well, of course. Some actually were numbered, so there's that. I did kind of appreciate that several of them were actually numerically in order. So like number 58, 59, 96, 97. So if anybody knows where the other 30 Joe Benson cards are, let me know.
He might have more than his mom does at this point.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, hook Mama Benson up.
Yeah, so that's awesome to see. Let's get into it. The week that was last week's releases. Topps Living Week 162, card 405, Kirby Puckett, Hall of Fame outfielder, Minnesota Twins. Just a titch over 3,400, and he wore number 34. And Steph didn't buy any.
Yeah, I was going to buy it this morning, and then it just...
You waited 3 years and you whiffed?
And then
they gave you a week.
Yeah.
A week, son.
Yep.
Card 406, Amir Garrett, pitchers for the Cincinnati Reds, sold about just a little over 1,700. Not too bad. We also had 2021 Panini Origins basketball and 20 Panini National Treasures football. Someone had pulled I saw they had pulled a Joe Burrow auto out of 10 National Treasures and wanted to sell for $150,000.
No.
Not a Joe Burrow. I'm sorry, not a Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert.
Okay. Yesterday was 420. So, if somebody's really dropping
What's that
100,
mean?
I don't know. It means that I hope you have your bong puffer cards.
If somebody's dropping a dime and a half on this thing, hey, good luck to you. My man, good luck to you. Or my woman, hey, good luck to you.
I mean, how many Mickey Mantles could you buy for that?
At least one really nice one.
Yeah.
No, and then it's a mess.
So there was an article on ESPN today about Trevor Lawrence, and it was outlining kind of, not only is he this highest rated quarterback since Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning, and he's the best of the best coming out of college, and he's got to turn around a horrible franchise in Jacksonville that has had very, very little success since their inception, and he's got everything working against him, and they outlined the 25 quarterbacks since 1970s merger that had went number one overall, and they had their winning percentage or win-loss record. And so I did the math on all of them, and their winning percentage is 51.9%. So if you got the number 1 overall pick, you're essentially saying best case scenario, this guy's going to win half the games that he starts in the NFL. And it's not like it's a small sample size. I mean, there's 2,400 games to account for with 25 guys, and there were some Hall of Famers in there, right? Quite a few Hall of Famers have went number 1 overall. What Manning and Aikman and whatnot, Bradshaw,
John Elway,
one of them. Elway. I mean, there's a lot of good dudes, and then you got Eli
Mike
Manning,
Vick, Jeff George.
You got Eli
Tim
Manning, who was literally at 50%, and luckily there were guys like Jamarcus Russell who just didn't stick around long enough. But I mean, he was horrible. Guys like Jared Goff who went to a team that was really good despite their record to land him, and you got a coin flip chance that this dude's going to be a 50-50 quarterback. So let alone Joe Burrow, who went 6th overall last year.
You mean Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert. Excuse me. You said Burrow and then Herbert.
Sorry.
So did I. So Herbert. So you got this dude to go 6th overall. He's got a really good team around him and probably extremely bright future, but he didn't go number 1, and that doesn't mean anything necessarily. Obviously, the Tom Brady factor, but think about that. I mean, the odds of Herbert being a great NFL quarterback, the odds are stacked tremendously against him, and you're going to go out and drop $150,000. In some parts of the country, that could buy you more than one house. And you're going to drop that kind of money on a baseball, football card of a guy that
oh yeah.
I mean, it's just I don't care who it is. At least if you're buying a Wagner or a Mantle or a Mays or a Cobb or any number of these, it's like at least, I mean, even a Trout, at this point, he's 10 years in. You know what he is. He's established.
It's all about Herbert, baby. That's cheap. You're getting that card super cheap.
You're right. I'm going to
refinance the housing market right now, dude. Right?
How about you? Yeah. You refi again. I'll refi again, and we'll go halvesies.
Yeah.
I mean, we're guaranteed millionaires. It's not like we can't sell this to our wives.
Yeah. Let's hop into Hot Off the Presses this week's new releases. Topps Living Week 163. Card 407. 407. The Mickey Mantle, Hall of Fame outfielder, New York Yankees. Took them all of 6 weeks to get him on there because when the card 400 came out, 3 weeks. Card 400 came out with Yogi Berra. Mantle's 407, and then it's a good looking card. It really, really is probably one of the best looking cards. I mean, that thing is beautiful. And then card 408, Joey Bart, rookie catcher of the San Francisco Giants. So I bought. How many copies of both these cards do you think I bought today?
2.
None. Well, I said none. You didn't hear?
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, about 3 of each.
I was closest.
Yeah,
I bought both of them. It's just, man, Topps couldn't wait to get Mickey Mantle into this set.
But it's 407. It makes sense.
I thought maybe they'd put him at 500 or some other
7. But you remember how they
other
would
Mantle related number?
But what is 407?
They always left 7 empty, right? Like for a couple years, there was no, and like the fact when you build a flagship set, there was no number 7, or there was a Yankee at number 7.
What does 407 have to do with it? Just because it's a 7 at the end?
Yeah, it was the quickest 7 they could give him.
536, maybe.
So interesting though. Cardboard Stat, formerly Topps Living Stat on Twitter, he had brought up a point that maybe the contract, at least initially, is only for a year, which would mean it would expire prior to them releasing card number 500. So they just missed the boat to get him in at 400. So maybe that, at the very least, it's interesting.
So let's take numbers down. How many of this card do you think they sell?
7. I thought. No? Okay.
1,000? Yes.
I mean, like a real good week lately has been about 3,500.
I would say Mantle's probably going to hit about 14 grand. Right.
I'm gonna say it's shy of 10. So like say 9,800.
I'm thinking 777.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Kim said 407 represents the number of minutes it took for them to shove Mantle down our throats.
Second.
Yeah.
So just bookmark that stuff. This little time here in the show at 8:17 that we have our numbers there. What else came up this week? All right, that's it. There were no new releases in any of the major sports to talk about. There was some gaming stuff that came out, but nothing for baseball, basketball, football, or hockey. So, yeah. But next week, guys, what's brewing next week's releases? I hope you've saved up all of your pennies and your quarters, and you've been your babysitting money, because 2021 Bowman Baseball drops next Wednesday. 2021 Panini Donruss Diamond Kings Baseball drops, and we know Steph can't get enough. 2021 Upper Deck SP Game Used Hockey, and 2020 Panini Chronicles Football, our favorite Chronicles, the football edition, because they're still pumping out 2020 football product, and it's draft time for the 2021 season. So, hey, let's do it. Yeah. There we go. It's going to be exciting next week.
Trying to think of a product worse than Chronicles, and I can only really think of Archive Signature Series.
Diamond Kings. Got him.
You're allowed to be wrong.
I'm kidding. I love Diamond. No, don't get me wrong, dude. I love Diamond Kings. I actually have an example of a Diamond King set. I'm starting to build right now, because I've built the 3,000 hit club. I'm going to put the 500.
18?
17? 2018. Yep.
17?
And then I'm going to do the strikeout one too, because I think they have a 3,000 strikeout one too.
They do that year. Yep.
So excited for that. All right. Infield chat, our Hobby Talk section, part of the show.
What's that?
Am I on a delay? Sorry, guys.
Let me know when you hear this.
I heard it just fine.
Okay. No, you're not. Shep on a delay.
Maybe, because every time I talk, he seems to not catch it right away.
I don't know. Something's going on over here.
Shep, when did you hear this?
Hear what?
Are you joking, or was there actually a 5-second delay?
He might be on a delay. You know what set was really good though, Steph, that I think was kind of a one-off from Diamond Kings that I wish that Panini would bring back, and that was leather and lumber. Or lumber and leather, I forget. They did it one year as a standalone release. And I thought some of the inserts were really cool. They did mitts and bats and stuff as a die cut. I thought that was the
die cut parallels were really nice. Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was a really solid set. Again, maybe it was too close to Diamond Kings, but it wouldn't be the first time that a manufacturer in this industry decided to bastardize their own product and crap on themselves. But yeah, I get the idea behind Chronicles. I really do. And that's what makes it so bad, is it's great conceptually. Let's throw out all of this stuff at once, right? The obsidians and the this, that, and the other thing, and see what people like. And once in a while, you'll get a standalone release out of it. But it's one of those ones, the difference between conception and execution makes it probably the worst product outside. Archive Signature, I don't know. It's not comparative. It's not linear because it's not a full set release. It's an individually slabbed card that's stamped and stuff. So it's it'd be interesting to see if they bring some of these sets back that were like one and done, and just still waiting for Upper Deck to get a baseball license so they can bring back masterpieces.
I think Obsidian is a real set, should be out there.
It's a great set. It really is.
It could be a 1-pack 12-card product, 12 cards, 1 pack. A hit or two in the pack. It would be an awesome. It would be people got, and if they put it on like the stock, the thicker stock like they have for Origins, it would be legit. Think about that. Think of a thick stock Origins with the obsidian, with that black. I mean, people would melt their eyes over that stuff and what they could do with colors and like a color blast obsidian. Like, come on, guys.
Phoenix is another. Phoenix is another one that they did last year in Chronicles that was really, really good. They have a couple that and I get it. You don't know what the market wants unless you throw it out there, but that also doesn't give you the, quote unquote, right. Obviously they have the right to do what they want to do with this, but they shouldn't just crap out 18 products at once and just say, we got all this stuff sitting on the shelf. Literally, or
if you don't have a demand for it every year, pick like 2 of them and release them, and then and just kind of see like, all right, the next year let's go to try these 2 out and see what happens, or something. I don't know. I think it's a waste of a lot of good cards all thrown together. And then the thing that messes it up totally is I opened some Chronicles basketball this year I was able to find at retail. And it's like the same guys it's like the same 6, 10, 12 guys in all of the sets. So there's no diversity whatsoever. So you basketball, I pulled Kendrick Nunn from every set, but it's like, okay, I'm tired of seeing Kendrick Nunn. I'm tired of seeing this guy caught. Like, it's so just like, it's like, it gets kind of repetitive, and it's on a different card, but it's the same dude. Like, anyway.
Yeah, similar images. There were like 11 AJ Pucks last year and like 8 Jesus Luzardos, and I get it because they were rookies. But in a product like this that's already a crap show, the hell do I need 11 AJ Pucks? And I can guarantee you that's just an example that I'm familiar with because of how I collect. I guarantee you if we dissected that checklist, he might not be the player that was mostly represented, at 11 or whatever the stupid number was. I bet you there were quite a few other players. Basically, if you were a rookie last year, you were getting a dozen or half a dozen or more, and it's just like, look at it. It's just pick 300 subjects, do a flagship style checklist, and then divide them up. We're going to do 20 of these dudes in Phoenix and 20 of these dudes in Leaf, original Leaf, and 20 of these dudes in Score, and 20 in Obsidian, and so on and so forth. And luck of the draw. Your guy might get into one of these and might not. It's better than having 11 versions of the same dude to go chase, and they're all $3 cards. Yeah.
Let's get into the Infield Chatter Hobby Talk section part of the show. The 2021 National put out a post on their site this week. The National continues to get questions and hear rumors about the upcoming 41st National schedule July 28th through August 1st at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Chicago, which is a great place. We are at the mercy of the Illinois Department of Public Health, which has published metrics describing when large conventions may be held in the state. We know that attendees and exhibitors are waiting to make arrangements for travel and hotels for the National. Based upon this, we will continue to follow the guidelines and make a decision on the July dates on or around June 1st. It's about 6 weeks from now. Should the National be postponed, we're currently looking at October dates as backups. Exhibitors and attendees will have a choice of rolling over booth, deposit, and or ticket revenues to the postponed show, or may request a refund. At this point, I can't go. Even if I could, if I want, I really like to go, but it's on the cards this year. But Steph, I know you try to go every so often, and are you planning to go at this point if they have in July?
July, it's probably out. Maybe October, but I don't see it. It's not even any of the safety or whatnots. It's just I almost don't want to reward them for what they're trying to do. And rushing back, give people time. I know there's tradition in having it yearly, but
you missed last year.
Yeah, shoot for one more year.
And all it's going to be is slabs and retail.
Of course.
From what I've heard of all the shows lately, it's slabs and an open retail. Of course, we haven't had one since December of 2019 here. We might have one May 22nd if you're in the Sacramento area. There's one this weekend in the Bay and Fairfield. But, so if it could wait another year and stay in Chicago, like I would probably be able to go that following year. Figure I could get, finagle it out of the wife. So,
Right.
because besides, like, just to go and see the stuff and see the people online in person is well worth the trip, because you get to have these private conversations. You don't have to, you can buy some stuff, you can see cool stuff, but it's the experience of seeing it, it's mind blowing. And then, lugging 25 factory sets of football back and forth. Hey.
Well, and that's it. It's not so much that because if I wanted to buy things, I'd go online or pick it up here, there, or wherever. But it's more missing and not being able to see those back pages, or a friend from Iowa, or friends live in New Jersey, or I can go to the Dallas shows if I want to see boots and boots of stuff being displayed.
Yeah.
But it's that more private time with friends and people that we've grown to know very well that will be disappointing to miss. But to do it safely and smartly, I think you'd probably have to wait a year.
All right. Just pump the brakes. Speaking of shows, so Shady Sellers, I don't like this. A good friend Jenny Miller tweeted out earlier this week, spent 45 minutes searching in boxes at a show. Seller had a sign that said unmarked cards, 50 cents. Went to pay, she said about $80 worth. He says, "Oh, I missed a lot of these. Twins Heritage or Beckett value." I walked away. He says, "Some of these sell for 50 cents. Nope. Don't be a shady seller. So, like, you spend all this time going through what the seller has out, and if they haven't mismarked or they didn't go through that box recently, that's on the seller."
Mm-hmm. No offense to the seller, but 50 cents is the Beckett value for the unmarked Twins Heritage this year.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
What the hell is Beckett value? First off, I'm going to the show in Fairfield on Saturday. If I'm talking to a seller and he uses the words Beckett value, I'm going to turn that dude's ass into a TikTok video, and I don't even TikTok. Okay? Dude, this is not 1988. Don't use those two words. Those don't exist.
So listen, like I've done shows now for, well, pretty much all of 2019 I was doing shows, right, when we had them. And I have tons of stuff that I put out in my quarter boxes. And if I miss something, if someone, someone took off and they're in the quarter box, dude, great find on you. Honestly, I didn't think that they were good enough to warrant to be anywhere else. And you found them in the quarter box? Awesome. You found that autograph in the dollar bin? Sweet. Because guess what? I didn't think it was worth $1 when I put it in there, or I wouldn't have put it in there, right?
Well, that's it.
Again, you're there to sell stuff.
It says something that you really should be checking up occasionally and making sure that your stuff is priced competitively, both up or down. However, at the same time, if you didn't, and there's an Acuna Gold from 2019, I know that's not the rookie year, but from 2019 that you have priced for 10 cents, that's on you.
Well, and the bottom line is when you have cash in your face, I don't know what she had in her stack, right? But she's saying she had about 150, 160 cards, right?
Right.
You're getting rid of quite a bit of inventory. You're putting $4 $20 bills in your pocket. You can't tell me that if we looked on, Beckett value, I bet all those cards were probably listed on Sport Lots right at 18 cents. You're already getting twice of what a fluid value is for them. So, hey, good for you. You just made $80. You made her happy as a consumer. She's going to come back when she sees you at the next show.
That at least paid for your table for the day, bro. It probably paid
over crap that literally, and I don't want to devalue Twins cards. I don't know what all she had.
Already devalued because they're Twins cards.
I've already said that, guys. Like even if it were the short prints, 50 cents is. I mean,
you know how I argue that point of people don't always know how to use comps correctly, right? A comp is not the same for everybody because we all collect differently, and sometimes when somebody buys something, that takes them out of the market And maybe that is the market. Maybe she was the only one that was going to go through that box and pull out that group of cards or the majority of that stuff. Maybe there wasn't another soul in that building that was going to want that stuff. Maybe you found the buyer. She had cold, hard cash. She's handing it to you, and then you decide, well, I mean, imagine that. You go to the McDonald's, right? And you're like, yeah, let me get a number one. And they're like, ooh, the cost of cheese just went up and we didn't update. So either you can have the Big Mac with no cheese, or that $10 extra value meal is now going to cost you $14 to supplement and offset the cost of our rising food costs when it comes to dairy. I don't give a about your rising food costs. I'm paying $10 because that's what it says.
If you forgot it and you thought it was worth 50 cents, you thought it was worth less than 50 cents when you put it in that box, right? Because that's why it was in that box. Just sell the damn thing and move on. Anyway, I just think it's ridiculous. I hate stuff. I don't like when sellers don't have prices are clearly marked boxes of stuff. It makes I don't want to ask because it's like I shouldn't have to. You're here. Why should I ask you what your prices are? It should be noted, right? And or when they go, well, I need to look it up and see what today's value. It's like, then you're not ready. Then why are you here? So what did you bring your PC here to sell?
I did a quick look up. I checked the first 10 cards on the Twins checklist for 2021 Heritage. The only one that was worth more than 18, 19, 20 cents was the Rookie Stars Bart / some twin.
Yeah, but now you're paying now you're paying for Joey Bart, not the twin.
Right.
Yeah, which happens.
So PSA is getting an upgrade. They tweeted out today, PSA has acquired Genomit Incorporated to integrate next generation technology into the grading process, providing advanced imaging and card diagnostics to improve efficiency, accuracy, and capacity. Genomit technology analyzes each trading card in real time and is able to provide diagnostic measurements and detect alterations or other changes made to the card's surface in an effort to assign human graders. Efforts to assist human graders. It will also provide unique card identification or card fingerprinting by identifying the exact card in order to provide tracking provenance, resubmission, condition changes, and other attributes over time. Acquiring and integrating Genomit will allow us to grade more trading cards faster while improving accuracy, said Nat Turner, executive chairman of Collectors Universe, PSA's parent company. The reputation PSA
that you meant provenance and not the Canadian state.
Correct. The reputation PSA has established as the industry's card grading authority is important to protect and enhance. This acquisition is one of the first steps towards furthering PSA's capabilities as the foremost authority in grading trading cards. We're not eliminating humans from the grading process, he continued. We're improving the process by adding technology. And it goes on and on and on. So already who was CSG, right? The Andy Broom company one, right? They've been using some kind of technology, and they've been showing pictures of altered cards where it does put some crazy light on it. And you can tell if there's been, pen marks or anything like that have been, or added ink or whatever whatever's going on there. Finally, at least they're coming out and they're trying to go do something about it. I mean, the fact is that I hope we don't see the same card graded over and over again like we've seen before, where it bounced. I'm going to crack and resubmit. If they can actually give it a fingerprint, it'd be interesting to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm all for improving the system, whether it's efficiency or whatever. I mean, obviously, my position on graded cards as scams is well known. My two things is, does this increase transparency on one hand? And on the other hand, is this system still capable of being manipulated? Are they still going to offer bulk discounts to select submitters?
That was BGS that was offering, hey, you submit more cards and we'll make sure that you get nice results.
But to say that PSA doesn't do that, I mean, come on. But that's the thing
we know people have told us about BGS, so we know that for sure
on this show.
So,
yeah. But hey, good for them for trying. Hopefully, it does improve the process for those people that choose to grade cards, because people do sometimes choose to do it for personal collection and not for resale value. But the system can still be manipulated, and if it can't, fantastic. Then this is definitely a step in the right direction.
By the way, I heard it interesting. I was watching a video. Our buddy Ryan, a card collector too, he submitted some cards to SGC for the first time, and he was doing a review. And he's thinking that grading will now be tiered by company, meaning that PSA might not ever go back to grading the lower end cards. They stop their economy and all this stuff. So like the $5-10 cards, right? That they might just want to only grade cards that are valued at a few $100s or more.
Good.
So, and then like Beckett would kind of be in between, and then you would have like HGA and SGC and whatever else. All the other ones would kind of fill in the spaces in other spots in the $10, $20, $30, $40 range cards, right? Your base cards, your rookies, your prospect cards, not your higher end cards, where PSA would only want to do that. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
So you're trying to say that maybe along the same lines as what Beckett used to do with BCCG, where some of the lower tier stuff got sent that direction.
Yeah, but it's going to be company, like the company's only going to like. PSA is only going to be like the Mercedes dealership or the Lambo dealership, right? They're only the Ferraris. That's the only cars they want to see. They don't want to see your Honda Civic pull in, where Beckett might want to see your like Nissans or your Lexus or whatever. And then you have the other companies that are like, hell, we'll take your 78 Ford Pinto, come on over.
How about your 99 Geo Prism?
Hey, I had a 94 Geo Prism. It was 4-door, it was red, it was baller, it was a great car. But guys, like my thing is again, the grading stuff, the wait time anyway. We could get all that. But did you know that eBay buyers are at it again? At Evolution of A tweets out, so now I work for PSA. He posts this eBay. This is awesome. This eBay message he got back from somebody. This is the message he received from a potential buyer. How is the bottom right corner? It looks damaged. How are the corners and edges? Any small dents or white imperfections? How are the surfaces? Any small dents? Hard to see small faint lines or blemishes? How is the centering in the front and back? I'm specifically looking for only gem mint and pristine cards. Thanks.
Good for you, kid.
Look at the picture and you make the decision.
Right.
First off, can we all agree that?
By the way, it's Aloha _
sales.
Something I can't get the _ sales. There we go. On eBay, by the way, that's asking these questions.
That's the thing. Quit blacking out the name. We all want as sellers an opportunity to block these potential buyers, because I don't sell very much, but let's assume that I do. Let's assume I'm a big power seller. I don't want to deal with that guy. And that's my prerogative, right? Right to refuse service. I don't want to deal with him because that dude just is a headache waiting to happen. Yep. I mean, that literally could be a gem 10 to every experienced grader under the sun. But if that guy gets that card and to his naked eye, he says, no, I'm good. Even if we had 20 dudes over here that have worked for PSA and BGS saying, oh, we'd all gem 10 it. It really is that sharp. And this guy's like, no, look, this is got to...
Hey, that's an 11. That ain't no 10. That's an 11.
We need to do we need to have sub numbers of pi, right? 10.314, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it should be 20 numbers deep.
So someone checked his account, the Aloha _ sales account, and noted that he's actually selling some things. In this case, Adidas Superstar Women's White with black stripes, leather, sneakers, size 7, men's 5. Can you send pictures of the corners? Is there any kind of scratches or dents? Would these gem? I will not even consider buy. Won't. If not, I will not even consider buying them. Do they smell like someone else's feet? If not, I don't want them. I'm looking for strictly clean but smelly used shoes. Thanks.
I love that. Just trolling his own sales. Yeah. So I love finding. Send us these eBay things because these are awesome. It's like like dumb criminals and stuff. Like I love like dumb eBay buyers.
I mean, for a long time, I've been using the hashtag the shit you see on Facebook or the shit you see on eBay because it's funny stuff. Please use that hashtag because that way we could all see this funny stuff together as a group. And don't block the usernames on eBay because some of these people are going to cause issues for other sellers at some point, and it might be you. So, block them as a user, but send us the stuff so we all have an opportunity to make a decision for ourselves. Some people don't care and don't do that. But when I see stuff like this, it's a quick, easy block and move on. And the best part about my block list on eBay, half of them have now been deleted by eBay. I don't have very many, but like 30 or 40 names on there. So it shows that these accounts are not around for the long haul in some cases.
Well, I had a guy. So I've had quite a few sales this month, and it's been great. I sold an Ohtani card the other day. It was a best offer, and the guy sent it to me. We went back and forth a couple times. We came to a price, and but we were going back and forth like instantly. Like he sent an offer, I responded. He sent another offer, I responded. He accepted, like all within a span of like 10 minutes. Then he doesn't pay. And he doesn't pay for like 3 days. So then I send a thing like, hey, you got to pay for this, and I'll send the card, whatever, right? And then it goes to like 8 days, right? Because I was like, okay, well, it's coming up on Friday. Maybe he needed to wait till payday Friday.
They communicate that.
Yeah, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt this last Friday, and I let it go through Saturday. And on Sunday, I said this and canceled the order. And, relisted the card, and I get a message back from him, and I was like, well, you didn't pay. And he goes, oh, I didn't know I had to.
These are NFTs?
And I was like, well, you pay for the card, and then I ship it.
You don't just get to look at them online?
The card, and then he was going to pay for it.
No.
Seriously?
Anyway, so I was just like, whatever, bro. Like, you and your 6 feedback can go, on my list. And he was the first person I've ever added to the list. So anyway.
I have seen people, and I'm sure a lot of people do this. I buy that card from you, right? There's a little negotiation, and we settle on a price. Now it's mine. I haven't paid for it yet. And then I'm waiting out the market on some others to see which deal I get the best and then ask for cancellations. I do know that has happened.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's not a very common thing, because I imagine it would be, is people are just kind of, I'm holding yours in my cart. I've committed to buy it. It's mine, quote unquote. If it's the best deal I can get on it, then I'll pay. Otherwise, you got to eat that cancellation.
And there's got to be a little recourse to this, taking a little action for eBay to take against a seller that does that shit. Like an unpaid, like, hey, like, this guy has so many unpayments within the last 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows you they're not willing to pay right away. Yeah. So we're gonna do a Project 70 update today. We haven't really gotten into Project 70 all that much. We didn't have any new releases this week, so I thought I would do a little deep dive on Project 70. So there's gonna be lots of numbers, and we're gonna chat back and forth here. But let's get into it. So cards by team. So this is how many cards each team has so far through today. So I think it's like through card like 137, I don't know, 139, whatever it is. The New York Yankees have 27 World Series championships, yet they have 29 Project 70 cards. The LA Dodgers, 29. The Seattle Mariners have 11. The Braves, 9. The Mets, 8. The A's have 8. The Angels, 7. Padres, Giants, Cardinals all have 5. Orioles, Phillies, Pirates, Nationals have 4. I think that includes I include the Expos in that one. And the White Sox have 3. The Brewers and the Reds each have 2. The Red Sox, Cubs, Tigers, Astros, Blue Jays all have 1. As of today, the Diamondbacks, Indians, Rockies, Royals, Mariners, Twins, Rays, and Rangers have 0. That's 8 teams that have 0. Tomorrow, the Twins are getting 1. I think it's Byron Buxton, so no one's going to buy that.
DJ Ski Edition.
So, but as of right now, like 140 cards, 8 teams have 0. One team has more than half of the teams that have cards, which okay, whatever. So let's look at that. The Diamondbacks, the Rockies, the Marlins, the Rays, all real recent expansion teams. Okay, the Rangers, the Royals were expansion teams at some point. The Twins, kind of surprising. I mean, with all the that they've been around so long. The Indians, nobody. I just can't believe no one's done a Bo Jackson card.
Okay, but there have been 3 Deion Sanders cards, and I brought this up today, and our buddy Nick Vosbrink had said that it could be contractual with Bo Jackson as to why he's been in living. I think he was in the archives recently, but it might be a contractual issue as to why. I mean, if Deion gets 3, Bo's going to get some, unless, again, there's an issue with that somewhere, and that's just speculation. But at least it's an explanation as to why he hasn't been represented yet. But
how do the Reds? Hold on. How do the Red Sox and Cubs only have 1 card each?
No, yeah, I mean,
wait, what? Those are 2 of the iconic franchises of baseball.
Especially since the Cubs. Now the Royals got 20 cards in Project 2020 for George Brett.
Yeah.
Now the Cubs got 0 cards. The Red Sox did have Ted Williams. And the Red Sox have obviously Pedro Martinez. Disordered did him, but they've got so much. I mean, you can go on and on about the Red Sox names that could be included into this. It's just it's interesting. The 4 more recent ones I understand, but
yeah, but it's mind-boggling to me. We're going to get to players here. Jackie Robinson, Ichiro lead the way with 5 apiece. Acuna, Bellinger, Betts, Griffey Jr., Aaron Judge, and Willie Mays all have 4.
It's Acuna.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron, Jose Canseco, Mickey Mantle. So Mickey Mantle's been around 3 weeks already. Jeter, Lasorda, Ripken, Ruth, Dion, Ozzie Smith, Tatis Jr., and Trout all have 3. So, okay, Mantle's been around 3 weeks, 4 weeks. He already has 3 cards. Tommy Lasorda has 3 cards. Big fat piece of trash.
1 or 2.
Guy wasn't a good
right
manager. He just managed a long time.
He just died, so I imagine.
I don't care.
No, but
people die every day. Doesn't make him worthy of a fucking baseball card.
No.
He managed. The last time he managed was 3? And the guy wasn't good.
You talk about Lasorda like Lasorda talks about Dave Kingman hitting 3 dingers off of him. That is the greatest clip of all time. But I think his passing and when these artists were probably submitting their players, who they were doing, I think maybe that had something to do with it because it probably coincided with one another. I could be wrong, but
that
would be the 1983 Lee Elia rant.
So Joe Adele, who's I think in the minor leagues right now, Yogi Berra, Roberto Clemente, Tony Gwynn, Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson, Clayton Kershaw, Mattingly, Thurman Munson, Mike Piazza, Pujols, Luis Robert, Corey Seager, Juan Soto, and Darryl Strawberry all have 2 apiece. By the way, Berra has the 2 worst cards in the set. Could they do him any more wrong?
It's like they saw the complaints from the first one, and each artist is trying to do more and more worse.
Hold my beer.
The representative image of what they were going for, but it's just not a good run so far.
It's awful. But I'm just saying, to me, it's okay. This set, I bought 1 card because it was Posey. I could care less if they ever release a Brett. I don't care. I'm right there with that set. I look at these every day, and I just laugh because I go, these look, they're mailed in. majority of these cards, except for Alex Pardee, I think most of these are just fucking mailed in. And I'm sorry to use that language here, but it's ridiculous that they're getting away selling these for $20 a piece.
So I was talking to my dad about this at dinner time because I broke down and bought the La Russa last week after everybody said it was an A's card.
But
and
then
even
you pay comps.
I won't pay comps ever.
That's a throwback to the previous episode.
But even when I sent a picture to Heather, she's like, he's wearing the old Kansas City jersey is what it looks like in the picture, even though it's not team affiliated as far as. And I was like, seriously? And I had to go back and look at it. I'm like, well, by golly, she might be right on that. But I bought it because you guys said it was, Cracknell said it was, Dad said it was, wife said it was. So I was like, yeah, let me buy it. Second lowest print run.
Well, you're ruining the story here, my friends.
No, but hold on 1 second though. I had. Do you want to finish in that? Because I had a really interesting idea for Project 70. But if you want to continue, I can say it afterward.
Yeah.
So it's worth noting that I think once a cup from the chat here, 3 different teams for Dion.
Still, he was even. Did he never? Was he ever make an All-Star team?
No, he never played 100 games because he was playing both sports. We're not taking anything away from his athleticism, but let's just isolate his baseball career. He played for 9 years. He did lead the league in 1992, and this is an impressive stat. He did lead the league in triples with 14, and I think he only played like 85 games. And I think what the MLB record is
97.
26, I think it is. For
so
triples.
Played 97 games, 14 triples, but he also led the league in being caught stealing in 94.
So, but what's the record for triples? I think it's 26, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that, yeah.
So if he had played 155 games and he already had 14 triples, just under 100, he could have made a run at that record, which would have been interesting. But he didn't because he didn't play that many games, and we can't rewrite history. He was just an. Okay, then yeah, he couldn't have made a run at that then. But he was an okay baseball player, and maybe he would have been a good player if he played strictly baseball. Great athlete. Highly overrated football player, in my opinion, which is another story for another day. But come on, why do we have 3 of his? You want to talk about go on a Lasorda rant? Let's go on a Deion Sanders rant. Cool. They put him on 3 different teams. Big effing whoop. He doesn't need 3 cards out of 1,020, and he's probably going to get more.
Yeah. So here's the print runs. The top 5 cards through card 129, because that's when the print runs ended. Coming in number 5, 1986, Fernando Tatis by Keith Shore, about 9,800. Card number 4, 1988, Mookie Betts, which was card number 2, I'm sorry, from Ben Baller, 9,900. Coming in at 3, the 55 Tatis, which was, Betts was number 1. Tatis is number 2 overall in the set. Ermsies, and that sold almost 13,000. Coming in with the second most cards, the 1990 Ronald Acuna by Alex Pardee, sold just under 15,000. The number 1 selling card, the 1990 Mike Trout by Alex Pardee, sold over 25,000 cards. And yeah, so Pardee's ones are the ones that have like it looks like Venom or like
Teeth,
they're very
the alien,
very cool. Yeah. The first 2 cards each sold quite a few, but we've seen that in the print run like come way down. We're gonna hit the bottom 5. The 5th worst selling card, 1994 Mark McGwire by Chinatown Market, just a little over 1,500. Card number 4, the 4th worst, the 1970 Dick Allen by Fucci, sold a little over almost 1,500. The 3rd worst, the 1957 Jerry Manuel by Don C, which sold just over 1,400. Now that makes sense. Don C's from Sacramento, Jerry Manuel's from Sacramento. I got why that card got made. So maybe Don C has a connection to Cordova High. The second worst selling card, the 2008 Tony La Russa's, as Ben said earlier, by Mr. Cartoon, sold 1,200. And the worst selling card, the 1965 Doc Gooden by Claw Money, selling 1,213 cards.
So the problem with the La Russa was you're targeting 3 teams and that's it, right? He was a cup of coffee as a player. And yeah, he's going to pass John McGraw as the second winningest manager of all time behind Connie Mack this year. Good for him. But he's an alcoholic, and he's had DUIs, and people aren't going to support him on a personal level, despite what he does with dogs and trying to get dogs adopted and stuff. But you're targeting 3 teams. It's a very small group of people that are going to be interested in buying this. It wasn't team affiliated per se because of the picture. It's just, to me, it's lazy. And the problem is I was talking to somebody today, and I was like, because of the repetitiveness of the players, there's a good chance you're going to get 6, 7, 8 guys that are going to get 51 cards, right? Ichiro, Griffey, Jeter, Mantle, Acuna, Trout, Betts, Bellinger, perhaps. I mean, let's call it 10 of them. So that's 510 cards, which is exactly half the set if you had 10 guys getting a full 51 pop. Okay? You would hope that Topps would have tried to do a little bit of control over this. Instead, let's try to get 300 or 400 other subjects spread out across that.
This is Topps getting control over the subjects.
It is, but you know what I'm saying? They would try to
spread it out a little bit.
Try to spread it out. Check this out, guys, right? We know that the artists are probably...
This is turning into Chronicles.
we know that the artists are getting about 1%, 1.5% per card that they sell commission. Okay. So how's this? What if they did 1,020 different players, right? All of the artists, you can only do each player one time. Trout gets 1 card in the set, period. And the artists go in a randomized order, 1 through 51, and they pick fantasy football style draft. If you have Lauren Taylor has number 1 pick and she wants Trout, she gets Trout. Boom. Nobody else can take him. And then you do serpentine draft. But the thing is, as far as the 1% goes, they split that. Right? But now you're going to get 1,000 different players in this. My dad suggested, what if you did McGuire as an A and a Cardinal? But you can only do 1 A and 1 Cardinal. You can do Nolan Ryan. Maybe each player only gets 2 cards max or 3 cards max if they were on multiple teams. But again, 1 artist, and you get to draft. Who did you want to do best? And you get the best blend of the best 1,000 players of Hall of Famers, fan favorites, and current players and rookies.
Makes too much sense.
It's an idea, and it'd be fun, and I think this would be much more enjoyable.
They do project, like 365, where they release, a card every day, all day. They have 365 artists, and each artist released 1 card every day for a full year.
But they're only NFTs, so you can't have it in person.
Oh, God. Perfect segue. NFTs hating on each other. So I love this. Mike Summer tweeted an interesting tactic from the Dapper CEO. Instead of using the Topps NFT entry as further validation of the segment, he went on the attack. How about you focus on figuring out how to actually pay your customers instead of attacking competitors? So a tweet comes out from
Rohan G.
Yeah,
I'm deeply disappointed in at Topps. Their product announcement with at MLB is low quality and bad for NFTs. I feel the same about every other wax project I've seen. Designer, what's the point of a static card that doesn't do anything? Digital unlocks, infinite potential, use it.
No, idiot. What an idiot. What's the purpose of a static card? I don't know. I can hold it. I can collect it. I can trade it. I can put a rubber band around it. I can put it in a screw down, a top loader.
He's talking about the NFT Topps is doing. So they released their stuff today. It's all it is like Topps Bunt, but you're paying a premium for it. It's the same card that you would get out of a Series 1 pack, but it's an NFT version of that same card. It's not a video, at least with the Top Shot, it's a video. It's something different. Mm-hmm. This is just an online image of the card. It's a scan.
No,
it's so stupid. So stupid. So stupid.
I made a comment about muting the letters NFT, which also in this hobby, hey, get this, stands for not for trade. So if you mute the words NFT, you lose all of those too. And then Ivan at Watch the Breaks trolls me a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, I was just about to send you an ultra rare Tony Kemp NFT for your collection." but I'd have to start an account in order to get it. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
So Yanks checked. He said, "It's Topps NFT day. Are you a buyer?" There's 438 votes. 16% said yes. 83% said no. They did sell out today.
They got their website working.
They did have some issues. At B Hester said the Topps NFT experience on mobile is an absolute disaster. Site sucks, stuff crashing left and right, just terrible experiences. Book on Twitter said,
So in other words, it's like Amazon whenever a PlayStation goes on sale.
Yes. Funk said, yep, ordered, placed within 2 minutes of 12:30, while Top site listed 11,000 packs still for sale, then canceled. He has the pictures that say, he shared some screenshots that said order accepted, payment might take a few minutes, and then it came in, he got back, he shows a screenshot, shot, order canceled, we're sorry to inform you, your order has been canceled. Funds have not been withdrawn from your account. If you have pending charges from your bank, you confirm the charges will be moved within the next 7 to 21 business days.
How much interest are they getting on that?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's it's goofy. I don't get it. And I could be an old stick in the mud with these NFT things, but again, with Topps, I mean, I don't have a 21 Topps here, but it basically is just like boom. You go on there, it's like, hey, here's my card. This is what it does.
Topps' understanding of NFTs is as much that Panini had an understanding of good old blockchain. It's like they're out of their league right now, and they don't know what they're doing. And the whole idea behind NFTs is just it's a scam. And people that bought it, I would imagine, I don't have a percentage, so I won't throw one out there, but I imagine there's a percentage of people that bought into Topps' NFT having absolutely no idea what they did, what they're buying into. They just bought it because everybody else was doing it. And, you see the success of NBA Top Shot in theory, that people have made some real money theoretically. And I better do it too, because what happens if I don't get into this gravy train today and next week people are, saying, oh, I made $500 off of a $2 buy-in, so to speak.
What would you?
And I didn't get mine.
Nope. So is there oversaturation? So Gary Vee said something I thought was pretty smart, and then I was like, oh. Some things to keep in mind. He tweeted out, number one, buying what you generally like and enjoy collecting or owning is always a great idea. I approve of that message. 2, there will be so much supply of NFT projects in the next 12 months, regardless of the demand explosion, it will be hard for most projects to be great investments. By the way, he's dropping his own NFT product in May.
Yeah.
So he's hopping on board. But that makes sense. So you have NBA Top Shot, okay, it's the first one to market. So usually the first one to market has a really good traction, right? They really have some good support because they were the first ones there. It's but again, remember, MySpace and Friendster, right? And then Facebook figured out and did a better way to do it. Topps coming out. Jalen Suggs, the Gonzaga superstar, released his own NFT at this moment. He tweets out, this moment was just the beginning as I officially turned pro. The shot, which is a 3-point shot against UCLA, is now a one-of-one NFT accompanied by my signed game-worn shoes from the semis. The auction is now live at OpenSea. I don't think it's sold, but he's now into NFTs. Our buddy Blake Jameson.
In that case, you're getting his game-used shoes as well.
Yep. Our buddy Blake Jameson, Brooklyn. This was an article. Brooklyn artist Blake Jameson has made over $46,000 within roughly 6 weeks between the first day of February through mid-March, selling NFTs of his artwork on platforms like Super Rare and OpenSea. He says, "I firmly believe I will be a millionaire in 8 weeks just because I see the potential of NFT stuff." Jameson says, "I have a really big Rolodex of pro athlete clients, and they're like beating down my door to do this stuff." I know T.O. was one of them with the popcorn. So I love Blake. Awesome. Go get the money if you can. But like people are like legitimately like I don't know.
It's imagine if the NFL was going to sell their NFTs on the players getting drafted next week, receiving the call. I mean, that would be hot. Yeah, with as much nonsense and excitement as there is around the NFL draft. I mean, hey,
not only do you get this picture that you can trade or sell, but you also get a 5-minute phone call with him.
That's cool.
Hey, make your money. I got no problem with Blake making your money. I mean, whenever I say grading is a scam, stuff like that, NFTs are a scam. It's like, hey, do what you got to do. You want to make your money, good for you. Just call it what it is. When people are like, "Oh, I'm investing in cards," no, you're speculating. You're it's arbitrage. Just call it what it is, and we can all get along.
Yeah, the whole digital thing in not being physical, I don't. Anyway, I really do think it's going to be oversaturated, and people are going. It's like the junk, like the junk wax. But remember how many card companies started popping up once Topps couldn't be the only one, right? You had Fleer and Donruss, and then Score came along, and then Upper Deck, and then they all started. And other companies started popping up, and then you had all these brands, and then everybody was doing like all kinds of reprints, and all these other crap came out, and there was just so much. And everybody wanted in because it was hot, and I get it. But long term, that stuff to everybody else now is just junk. Everybody's just like, yeah, everybody had
the majority of it, right?
But yeah, some of that stuff, Pacific, the late '80s Pacific, and Star, and Broder, and some of the unlicensed stuff was really, really good. So don't get me wrong. Don't. But
what I'm saying is everybody had it. And that's what I'm saying. We're getting to that where it's like everybody's going to have this stuff, and then it's not special anymore.
It's not.
Everybody's going to have their own version of it. Now, I was asking in chat, where do you see this 20, 30 years from now? I don't know that we do. Just like you don't see 3D TVs anymore.
Yeah. The shit could get, like we said last week, it could get unplugged tomorrow, and you're not going to get anything.
Yeah. At least as it pertains to the hobby, not outside of the hobby, which is a whole different monster and beast. Inside the hobby, it's for right now. So enjoy it. I know your buddy who's been on our show, Murph. He's making money on it. Great, make your money. Just call it what it is. It's not a long-term thing. It's for right now. You'll make some money. You'll have some fun with it. It's like going to the casino. On a slightly larger scale. Casino is for maybe a few hours unless you do it all the time. But you go hit a hand at the poker table and a spin on the roulette table, and the dice at craps come up, on an 8. Make your money, cash out, go home, enjoy
it. We didn't mention this on the show, but Steph in our little chat here said that our friend Suze has a new job. She went to work for Golden Auction for Ken Golden. She's back in the hobby again. She worked for Topps for a while. Before that, she was at Beckett, and recently was what was the site?
Fansided? No, something similar to that.
Yeah, but no, congratulations to her. Come back to the hobby. She's awesome.
We've roped her back in.
We need to get her back on the show here soon, whether it's a weekend special again or, preferably on a Wednesday night show.
So since card shows returning,
in today's card chat, since we're on the topic of her, was about positivity in the hobby, acts of kindness, things like that, people that mean something to you. So go check out her.
Your mouth shut?
Huh? No, I responded nicely about certain things. I had said today I was going to be nice all day long, and I was. Even to people who try to troll it, I was nice in my responses. But go check out #CardChat on Twitter and be a part of her 6 questions.
Once a
read
week.
through the comments. I mean, some of the ones today were really cool because we do get wrapped up in the negativity so much on this show, on our social media and private chats. Because it's really easy to focus on, and for the last 2 or 3 years, it's been even more easy to focus on. So it's good, good for her to kind of try to, I know sometimes on our show we try to, flip the script some, but the more of that we can have, the better. You know, it reminds us that this is a hobby that we don't need to be a part of. We choose to be a part of it. We don't need this to survive, and we should.
Well,
Yeah,
speak for yourself.
right?
Yeah.
We don't need it. So let's remember that it's here for us to enjoy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going to frustrate us, but how much of it can we honestly control?
Sure.
So I was asking the guys, like, you know, hey, what we should talk about? And Ben came up with some really good questions about card shows returning, and the fact that we have one locally coming up this weekend, and Steph's been to a couple spread like last 18 months, right?
Two since last year.
What do you expect as a buyer or a seller when you come to a show? Now, like, you know, as a buyer, what are you expecting to see or to do?
Well, so as a buyer, I would hope that one, you come prepared with what you're looking for, right? Whether it's a team collector where they have binders of this set, that set, this year, that year, this year, this card, that card. Whether you're a team player and you know that you're looking for the opening day blue, or player collector rather, and you know that you're looking for opening day blues and pinks and reds to that extent. But also you should hope that the sellers have their inventory in order and it's clearly defined as, okay, these are my dime boxes, and there's not really some sort, or like, these are dime boxes, yes, but those ones are baseball, the middle ones are basketball, these ones are football. It's some where you're not just wasting time at a booth. For a seller setting up at a show, that expect that, one, there's going to be a lot of people coming to ask questions. Hey, where can I find? How can I find? But you should be looking to set up some sort of rapport with that person to say, okay, hey, you may not want this. However, I see that you are an Oakland Athletics fan. Do you like the Raiders too? Here's the Raiders section.
Yeah, ask questions. Yeah, no. As a buyer, I think you're spot on, Steph. You need to be a little bit more focused right now because there hasn't been as many of these, and I would imagine it's easy to get overwhelmed. You go there and you're going to see a lot of inventory, and that's what I would, as a buyer, I expect to see on Saturday, is a lot of inventory because a lot of these people have not had a lot of outlets to move this. I would also expect sellers to want to make deals to move off some of this inventory. You know, going back to the point that Jenny's tweet had made, you got this guy that's got $80 in front of his face and he's got a stack of cards ready to go out the door. Cool. Let's play a game. Let's make it go away. It's not my problem anymore. It's yours. Let's just get rid of it. And let's open up some space in that box for the next batch of inventory, which I'm sure you've got more at home. So as a buyer, I expect hopefully a lot of diversity in the inventory. Probably not as much organization as we would like to see. But yeah, as a buyer, I also expect to see something Tim said earlier, which is probably a crap ton of retail and slabs and other high-end stuff that, because that's just the name of the game. As a seller, I would expect to see hungry buyers because why not, right? People are eager to spend some of the stimulus money. They're eager to just get their hands on some in-person inventory. If I've got sealed wax, I imagine I can probably find a bunch of buyers for that. So I'm going to bring as much of that as I've got on hand. And as a seller, I should be motivated. You know, I'm literally in a feeding frenzy of sharks and lions, and they're all hungry and they all want to be fed. And I'm here. I've got my inventory, so here we go. Let's play a game. I'm Monty Hall. Let's make a deal, man.
Yeah, no. So I'm super excited. If we can really have this show happen in May, I'm like super pumped because I have a ton of inventory to move. And I'm going to try to make the best of the situation and move as much as possible since we haven't had a show in a while, because I know people are going to come looking to buy because the hobby has exploded since the last time we've had a show in Sacramento. So I guarantee that we're going to have more eyes there looking to see what people have to sell, and they're going to be more willing to buy and look. And I do feel like it's going to be wax and slab heavy. I mean, that's just the way it is, and that's not what I have or what I'm going to do. So maybe I'll stand out and it'll be different. And But as a seller at this point, you should be really proactive in moving stuff to get other stuff and rotate through your inventory. You don't want to sit on old inventory, because if you have a semi-regular show and you keep showing up with the same stuff at the same prices and it's not moving, why are you even there? Because that means people aren't buying you. Either they don't like your stuff, or it's not priced to sell to them. So you have to decide. And so it's like, okay, and to take advantage of having not to pay online fees and do in person right there, be set up to take, to get a Square and take a credit card or do Venmo or PayPal, right there, and have a sign that says, if you're selling and you don't have a sign that says, hey, I can take credit cards, electronic payments.
Yeah.
Then you're really, really, really missing out. And have clear signage. I mean, I feel like when I have my stuff out, I have pretty clear signage. I'm pretty well organized. I'm even trying to make improvements for this upcoming show where it's even better, more clear, and easier to do. So I don't, I can make it friendly. And the thing is, as a seller, always say hi to the people coming up. Just say, hey, how's it going? If you have questions, let me know. That's all you need to say when they first walk up or having a good show. And let them know if they have questions. Hey, ask me. Be somewhat friendly, because some people aren't as outgoing, and they're not going to want to ask questions, but they're going to want to buy something. And if they don't feel they can ask you a question, then they're just going to look and move on. If you don't give off a good vibe, right? So
yeah, we're all card collectors. It's literally why we're here. We're all sports fans. Literally,
they came to a hotel on a Saturday morning for a reason.
Yeah, talk about it. I mean, hell, Tim, remember that show last year with one of the guys from Twitter, Brad? He had his sons, and they were all Giants fans, and I was giving them Matt Olson rookie cards from Bowman, trying to convert them there to A's fans on the spot, because they're kids. First off, you're trying to get them excited about the hobby, but yeah, make some new friends, make some new connections. It's networking.
Yeah. What is when you guys go to a show, what is the first thing you do when you go to a show? Like, you just get there, what's the first thing you do when you walk in the door?
So, and this is locally biased, but I stop and see Rich. I stop in and see a few of the other major vendors in the area, and we'll go around from table to table to see what's new. Or, hey, there's a nice dime booth over there. There's nice $1 cards over there.
You work with him. You literally, that's the first thing you do is go say hi to your coworker?
Not in the same office. For now.
Tim and I usually go to the shows together in some capacity. And it's beautiful. We do.
Ice cream.
We do. But what's nice about that,
remembers to bring its wallet.
What's nice about having a buddy or two with you, as long as they don't collect the same thing, because I've got a few friends here locally that do collect A's cards, and not good people to take to the show. But that was nice is Tim and I can do a perimeter walk, and we both know that, hey, if we see something the other one's going to want, to either do a whistle and get the other guy over there, or just if it's cheap enough, depending on what it is, just buy it. And, that's nice to have a couple of extra sets of eyes. But the first thing you got to do is do a perimeter walk real quick, just scour, see if there's anything you see, and say, I'm going to want to spend some time with this table.
I always go and I'll go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I'll do a quick lap and I'll look. But if I stop and I see some like old sealed wax or something I think it'd be fun to open or have, then I always look for that stuff first. Like, that's really what I'm looking. I'm not looking so much at the individual singles, or I'll kind of peruse and say, okay, this guy's like a slab person. This guy's got vintage. This guy's got quarter boxes. But I'll look for those. I'll look for sets and boxes first, because that's usually the stuff that goes quickly.
Sure.
And then I'll swing by and start to look at individual singles. And there's some guys I always try to go see their booths first, because I know the stuff that they're selling is going to interest me, because it's usually, I would say, in our local shows, about 75-80% the same sellers. There's not a lot of turnover in the sellers. And so that's what's really nice. And you can kind of get to know the guys. And now being set up there, I kind of get a preview before everybody gets there. I like to get set up as early as I can, so I could go see everybody else's stuff. But no, I just, it's on my bucket list. My hobby goals this year, I have right here on a Post-it, like right in front of me. Every day I look at them. Number 4 is go to a card show. Like, I'm so excited, and it's just, I'm itching. So we have like a month. It's like legitimately like a month from like coming. Like, please let it happen. Please let it happen.
There's no right or wrong answer to what to do first. It's all personal preference, and we might kid and joke about what we would do and that there are right answers, because there are right answers for us specifically. But doing a quick lap if you can, like Tim said, if there's something that kind of jumps out at you, like that's not going to stick around for 5 minutes, grab it, because you can always go back and look through those dime boxes. And the way I look at it is dime boxes is stuff that you can go to sport lots and probably pick up, or eBay for cheap. It's some of that other stuff you might want to kind of focus on that might not stick around for the first hour of the show. Definitely won't be there on day 2 if there's a second day of a show. Kind of have your cash ready to go, but do a quick lap so you know kind of where you want to focus your time.
And real quick, if you bring in cash to the show, and you're not buying like real big, like you're buying cards under $20. Okay, that going to the show, hey, like I'm not going to spend probably more than $20 on one single card or purchase. Get some singles or some fives.
Yeah.
And like that helps out a lot. It does. It does. Maybe have a small bag to carry your shit in. Deodorant.
I was helping Shep out at a show, right? He's got 2 tables, and he's like, I got to go use the restroom. Can you watch my table real quick? And there's a couple of guys sitting there, and they're shopping with his boxes, and Tim hands me, a stack of cash, right? This would be his money to use if somebody needs to break a 20, and he's like, here you go. And so I put it in my pocket, and the look on these dudes' faces, because they probably didn't know our relationship and the fact that I was there to kind of, God willing, I'll be there to help you on the show in a month, to sit there and drink some coffee and BS with you all day and hang out and allow you to go shop. And if you gotta, you want to take a tour, leave me some cash to be able to.
Did you say a tour or a toot? Is it?
Oh. I said tour, or at least I thought I had said tour. But yeah, the look on their face thinking that we were doing, he's like, is that guy just handing out cash?
Yeah, let me get some. So I guess what? I text Murph the other day and said, hey, there's going to be a show here in Sacramento, dude. You got to be here. And he's like, let me see what I can do. I might have to come visit my parents that weekend. So I'm like, it's your family, bro. Come.
Yeah.
So I would, I would love it if you could make it up. So the question of the week. Question of the week is, what non-star backup player would you PC? Like, if you could take away like your favorite guy, your team, whatever. So an example would be
an example would be
he drops. I think what he was going to say was Harrison Barnes or Teddy Bridgewater or Mark Canha. Not taking away from team, I would probably choose to super collect Astudillo, just because he's kind of my shape-ish.
He looks like I told Bentley that was Uncle Steph on the. I was like, look, Uncle Steph. He goes, why is he on the TV? I didn't know he played baseball, and I'm like, I didn't either until this dude got called up by the Twinkies.
But also, it gives 110%. He'll make a boneheaded play. Lord knows he's not very fast, and he'll swing at anything. But it's that effort level that endears me to him.
Oh yeah, I mean the Asian Twins just played 3 games in the last 2 days, right? They had the doubleheader yesterday. Astudillo is fun to watch. He may not be the greatest guy on the team. But I saw him play first base. I saw him play second base. I know he's listed on the roster as a catcher. Yeah, he's fun to watch run because he's overweight. So he's for a lot of fans, he's one of us, right? He just gives us that feel of like this guy can do it. But he's got a good energy today because he is a catcher. I see him running after a ball and he flips his regular baseball hat off. And I'm just like, dude, if you can't like the way that guy plays the game,
Sure.
You know, he's a fun guy to watch. So he would definitely be on a short list of guys that I might consider. I didn't know that this was the question, so I wasn't prepared. So, yeah, you know, he would be a fun guy for that reason, because he plays the game the right way. And a guy that I've long disliked because he did well against us and now he's one of us is Elvis Andrews. But I always loved him too because, again, always smiling, right? Francisco Lindor, always smiling. Yasiel Puig was one that, you know, you like him, you hate him, it doesn't matter. The guy always had his tongue sticking out when he's diving into a base recklessly, and, you know, he'll take on your whole team if you upset him. And, you know, Puig was always a fun one to watch. I hope that he can continue his career. But since you can't use Astudillo, I might go ahead. You can't use him because he's on your team.
He's also a pitcher. He did throw 7 pitches most recently.
46 miles per hour. That was his fastball.
No, he did get one in at 72. For me, it's easier just because in baseball I don't expand out much. But in hockey, I've expanded to I can easily see expanding out to like the Mighty Ducks or the Dallas Stars or the Winnipeg Jets, just because of personal reasons. You know, the Mighty Ducks naturally through Disney, but that was originally a Minnesota team. Dallas, well, used to be the North Stars, and Winnipeg's closer to my hometown, so if I wanted to be my 1/4 Canadian, I might choose the Winnipeg Jets. But also, you know, like Phil Kessel, when he was with the Penguins, he played at the U. I'd go that route instead of just on talent.
I think this question just snuck in so Tim could say, "Oh, I collect Garrett Hampson." Oh!
No, because I already collect him. So no, it's not that. No, I was just thinking, like, if you had to collect some, like you had an oddball, like the guy like you collected for just like a just because guy, because there was, you know, I saw him one day and he was wearing the same T-shirt I have, right? Like, I just thought it would be a fun question to you know, to put it out there. Like, for me, like, I was really like racking my brain, like, if I was going to collect, like, because they're a local team, but I don't like the local team. If I was going to collect an Oakland A, you know, well, because they're not going to be there, that, you know, they're going to be there. You're going to get like 4 or 5 years to collect the guy, right?
It's me rolling my eyes. I'm just going to roll my whole head.
But I mean, but see, the problem is he's kind of a star, so I'm kind of breaking my own rules a little bit there. But I would say like a guy like Matt Chapman. Just because like he's an offensive player, but he also plays great defense. You know, he seems like a genuine, just good dude baseball player. You know, it'd be something like that, or maybe even Sean Manaea, because at one point he was a Royal.
So Manaea, I've met him multiple times at FanFest and stuff. He is nothing but awesome to kids. He's been nothing but cool to my son Bentley. When my dad and I got a chance to meet him at a FanFest, when it was just he and I, the guy was changing his camera. Something happened with the batteries or something like that. He's like, "Hey, can you guys give us a couple minutes?" And they're like, "Yeah." So, hey, Sean, what's up? And just awesome dude. You always see him horseplay and clowning around in the dugout. He pitched game 1 yesterday. Probably could have just took a nap during game 2. Still came out. He's like the number 1 cheerleader. He's always doing stuff with bubble gum in his hat, and Sean Manaea is like the dude that you would just love to have as a best friend, because he would be awesome. I would trade both of you guys in a heartbeat to be besties with him.
Well, but then there's also his signature.
Yeah.
Which, for those that are unknowing, I'm about to share the screen, and for those that are listening to not YouTube, it's very clear that he's a fan of Topps Archive Signature Series.
He is. Now, what was cool about Manaea, 2 years ago, he was late to FanFest, right? And so he's like full sprint into the place where the players meet before the FanFest begins. He's just, and so everybody's got their hand out. Sean. And he's slapping as many 5s as he could. That was back in the day when that was allowed. And he's slapping 5s. And he's like, guys, I'm late. And then he's like backtracking to get hands that he missed. And he's like reaching across side to side because there are people on both sides. And he's trying to get 100% of the hands that were stretched out as he's full sprint, as he's yelling to everybody, guys, I got to get in there. I'm late. And I thought, this dude gets it, though, right? He knows that the fans are what it's all about, and he was trying to serve both masters. He was late. But he caught about 90% of the 100 hands that were sticking out to try to slap him 5.
So Steph just sent this in our private message. It's a video of Lucas Sims, pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, pitching in the freezing rain. So he proceeded to throw out every ball the ump gave him. There's this video. The ump throws him. The catcher throws him the ball. He looks at the ball, throws it off the field, and does this over and over again. I mean, it's coming down, and every ball. And finally, the catcher's like, "What's going on? Like what?" And then the ump goes, "I'll stay here. I'll go out." The ump's walking closer, throwing a ball. He catches it and throws it out. The ump does it again, throws it out, and then the ump just walks off the field. I don't know what happened after that, but dude, that's like on the ball. Like I'm the boss. Like we're not playing in this.
Well, and then earlier today, in the middle of a dead snow down, a dude was throwing like 96, 97 miles an hour. Like that's completely fair for the batter in huge, heavy snowflakes.
Baseball in the snow. Anyway, so we had an awesome comment a handful of 5 days ago from Rusty Staples, which is awesome. I know he of the Staples family. Buy collectors for collectors. That says it all. My favorite card podcast of the 10 or so I follow. Keep up the good work. There are still some people out there that actually care about cards and not what they can flip them for. Hey, so thank you, Rusty. We appreciate you listening. That's awesome. I've had a handful of people reach out recently saying like, hey, like this show has really helped me through some tough times, and I can't wait till the show comes out. I love listening to you guys, and like we really appreciate that. Like we always say, we're 3 chuckleheads just talking about trading cards. We like to have fun, and if you want to come on and hang out with us, let us know. Next week, Dub is coming on. Our buddy Dub Mentality, Joey. We're going to talk a little NFL draft next week, and he's a big Georgia fan. You got to see Justin Fields, who's a top prospect when he was at Georgia before he went to Ohio State, and he knows a lot. He knows a lot of college football, so I thought it'd be fun to bring Dub back on the show for a little. He hasn't been on for a while and hang out with us.
Well, and I'd love to hear his opinion on the new transfer portal rules.
Yeah,
portal rules.
Oh, by the way, the awesomest rule happened in the NFL today.
Okay, so you're gonna have to explain because I think I'm the one that shared it, but I don't get what all the hubbub is. So in the NFL,
forever now, for the longest damn time, if you were quarterback, kicker, or punter, you could wear 1 through 19.
Mm-hmm.
If you were an offensive lineman, you could wear 50 through 79. Oh. If you were a running back, fullback position, you could wear 20 through 49. If you're a receiver, you could wear 80 through 89. They recently expanded that to add 10 through 19.
So I kind of understood that this was more for the announcers so they could easily spot players.
Which is weird because college football, everybody's been able to wear all the numbers all the time. But now they've expanded where pretty much everybody but offensive and defensive linemen can wear 1 through 49, and then like the receivers, like tight ends and receivers can wear 80 through 89. Linebackers can even wear 1 through 49 and 50 through 59 and in the 90s. It's because some teams are having trouble with retired numbers and having, X number of players at certain positions. So when you think about it, like for the longest time, there was only 10 numbers receivers and tight ends could wear were 10 numbers, which is dumb.
So what you're saying is the Vikings should be retiring number 84 soon?
Possibly, but
I hate this thing. I hate this so much,
Why?
Man. I don't want to see a middle linebacker wearing number 1. That's stupid.
Look at college football. They do the same thing in college football.
I don't watch college football. It's stupid. I'm sorry.
It's because all the old stick in the muds are dying away, and so tell me this: the Chicago Bears have let people wear number 51, the Dick Butkus' number. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame linebacker. He's one of the 5 guys you think about when you think of Chicago Bears. At one point, there was a guy named Jim Morrissey wearing his number, who was a shitty linebacker. Because they didn't have any other numbers to give out, so they had to give him Dick Butkus' football number. Then
on a special request in a situation where you have to, Okay, then allow them to have an exception.
It's
and don't
just
make
a
it,
number. Who cares? Jim
Because
Otto double zero is a center.
it's stupid. When I got my quarterback dropping back and I got a number 11, which has traditionally been a quarterback number, and I see number 11 go across the middle and he catches the ball. I'm like, why is the backup quarterback? I played Madden one time.
What about baseball pitchers wearing single digits? That's never been a thing.
I hate that too.
See, you're just old and crotchety, and
that's fine. I don't try to
Gammons.
hide that. I hate Peter Gammons,
but he's old and crotchety.
I get the rule changes. I just everyone's extremely blowing it out of proportion. Like, okay, but they're just numbers.
But again, when you have a number in sport, it means a lot, and you really get identified with that number.
Yeah.
The other thing
the 80s were reserved for a receiving player.
Yeah.
It was in the 80s. You know?
And why? But why was it 80? Why wasn't it 40s? Like, see, that doesn't see. Then you get
the that. But yeah. Anyway, I hate it. And one time
the other weird rule was if you have two passes behind the line of scrimmage consecutively, you lose a down.
That's stupid.
So if you throw two screen passes in a row, it goes from first down, and then on second down you do another screen pass, so it goes automatically to fourth down because you ran two screen passes.
If you have a back like Christian McCaffrey,
the option then.
I don't know what the reason for the rule was, but I'm gonna try to find some more reasoning behind it. But it was just a really short blurb, and it didn't make any. There was more information on all the other rules than this one.
I can understand if it was on the same play. That way you don't just have guys tossing it back and forth, trying to get the additional 10 yards or like end of the game type stuff.
Yeah, but that's the end of the game, so there's not going to be a down after that. So,
well, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm going to look into that. If you guys have more information, let me know because I thought it was weird.
So if you have an iconic player who you just like a Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, I got to get the ball in this guy's hand X amount of times per game. And one way is to do a quick pass behind the line of scrimmage and then allow him to use his talents, hopefully to get more yards than we might be able to do, catch the defense off guard, get them out of their normal spots. I can't do that on back-to-back plays because of a stupid rule now. You're literally saying I did it on first down and I got 7 yards with McCaffrey. 2nd and 3, I can't do it again to him. I mean, that's as stupid as Major League Baseball saying you got to leave a pitcher in for three or more batters. I mean, Steph, our teams today literally were playing hot potato with the win. I don't want it. You take it. No, you take it. No, you take it.
So here's the rule. Here's what it says in the ESPN.com article. Change the rule that will now. Change the rule that now will force a loss of down if 2 passes are completed behind the line of scrimmage. That's all it says. That's the rule. Like, okay, but there's got to be more to that. I don't. It doesn't. Like, what? Like,
might get more information. Might get more information in the upcoming days.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, guys. Anything else before we head out tonight?
Yeah, I got one thing real quick.
Did want to say thanks for the package that arrived in the mail today this week for both Shep but also 3B, and I had another one that showed up too. It was from Dub, actually. A little bit of Donruss and some surprises. So that was cool. Thank you, fellas.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
So I get home 2 hours before we got to hop on. So it makes it really tight with the kids. Wife's working out of town. Makes Wednesdays really tight. Luckily, I've got my dad here to kind of help be another adult in the house. But 2 hours to feed them, get them ready for bed, diaper change, baths, all this stuff, whatever, teeth brushing. And I didn't want to cook tonight, so I'm like, let's just go do the Denny's real quick, right? And right as we're getting ready to go, it's going to be like 6:45, and I'm like, shoot, now I got 45 minutes. I'm like, come on, boys. I don't have time. I got the podcast tonight. We got to go. And then the waiter's like, hey, what's your podcast about? And I'm like, okay, I got time for this. You want to talk about cards? Let's do this. I'm like, yeah, so it's about baseball cards. And I was just going to leave it there. And he's like, oh, what kind of stuff do you guys talk about? So I used 15 minutes that I didn't have to explain to him all kinds of different stuff. I covered Mickey Mantle. He's like, I heard you say something about Jeter. What's going on with Jeter? And I was like, oh, they were just bastardizing the license. And I had to explain it more. And I'm like going over like 6 different podcasts worth of information in like a 15-minute window to a guy who's probably, he did write down our podcast name, but he's probably not going to listen. But if he does, hey, Noah, you're an excellent waiter. And I appreciate you for asking because I always got time for baseball cards.
I love it. I love my guy Danny. This because I got a problem here at the Starbucks across the street. So whenever he always asks me about the podcast because now we're friends. Because
Danny's a good dude.
Yeah. He's hilarious. He's awesome. Remember, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on
10
YouTube.
Central. Make
sure to subscribe and review our show on all platforms. We definitely really appreciate that. We're making our way to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're like in 820 somewhere. So we get to 1,000 on YouTube, we'll have a big blowout. Make sure to follow us on Twitter about the cards. Follow Ben at our trading cards. Follow Steph at JunkWax10. Twins. You can always follow me at BigShep79. Please share your hobby stories, great polls, send your questions our way. Keep collecting, guys. We are getting very close. 10 episodes or so away from the start of season 4. I'm going to put out a poll here in the next few weeks, asking some questions about like maybe a little format change with the show, and want to see what you guys think. So let us know. I appreciate that. Keep listening. We'll see you all next week.